Okay, we're going to get started. My name is Sarah Phillips. I'm the Executive Director at the Kodiak Chamber of Commerce. For those of you who aren't familiar with the Kodiak Chamber of Commerce, we are a member-driven organization, which means that we are not funded or in any way moderated by the city or the borough of Kodiak. And we are really here to help our members in any way that we can. Our real core value or mission that we go with is educate, support, and grow. And that's what we do on a daily basis for our membership. So that is what these weekly presentations are all about. Now, starting next week, they are not going to happen weekly. They are actually going to start happening every other week. We've got so much on our plates scheduled for Crab Fest and Comfish right now. And so we're just going to start doing those updates every other week. But that does not change the fact that you can reach out to us at any point in time. It doesn't matter if it's a presentation or not. Give us a call, send us an email. We're always here to help our members and our non-members alike. We're really here to help build the Kodiak community. So you can always email us at chamber@kodiak.org, or you can email us, or you can call us at 907-486-5557. Bear with me just 1 second here. I'm having a technology glitch and I need to go ahead and take care of it. Okay, so today we really don't have a lot of new information to go over, but what I did want to discuss with everyone is the fact that the Alaska Emergency Declaration did expire this week. And so that does have some pretty big implications for our businesses, for our community, for those traveling to Alaska, and just things to be aware of. So at this point in time, like I say, the Alaska Emergency Declaration has expired, which means that all of those mandates that were required from the state specifically, so things like being tested upon arrival into the state of Alaska, intrastate travel requirements, interstate travel requirements, capacity limitations, anything like that, those are now officially advisories. So really just recommendations. So at this point in time, anyone coming into Alaska does not have to get a negative COVID-19 test or even quarantine upon arrival. I know that those are things that the administration is looking at to see where they fall on that risk spectrum, what they can do to open things up, but keep the state of Alaska safe. So we're staying in touch with them. We're trying to find out exactly what that means for everything. But one of the aspects that some of our, especially nonprofit members, should be aware of is that the expiration of this emergency declaration does mean that we can no longer do online gaming activities. So if you've been holding raffles, split the pots, any sort of gaming activity at all that you've been doing online, that does need to stop now. That expired with the emergency declaration, so just be very aware of that. You can still do your raffles and your drawings. You'll just need to advertise the in-person location those things are happening at. No longer can we do them online. Again, any of those state mandates have officially expired. Any local mandates, though, those are able to stay in place. So Kodiak doesn't currently have any significant mandates besides capacity limitations on businesses. We no longer have the mask mandate. The state was really the ones responsible for issuing the mandate about travel testing for COVID, as well as quarantines. I did receive word that the harbor master is still working with all the vessels to ensure any compliance and mandates that were issued there for our fishing community. But again, those mandates, more of a recommendation at this point in time, unless they are local. That does throw us some uncertainty about vaccine allocation. We know from the information that the state has gathered that we are good through the end of March as far as our allocations currently, but we don't have certainty because so much of that is regulated by the federal government based on emergency declarations. And so that doesn't mean they're going away, the vaccines won't make it. That's not what that means. It just means we're not sure where we fall yet. And so additionally, that does mean that anyone traveling by ferry no longer has to get that negative COVID test before they board the ferry. However, they are still required to have that mask mandate. So a whole bunch of things in flux. Telehealth is a little bit up in the air for the time being. I think it's okay. But we're just waiting to see where we fall without this emergency declaration that we've been living under for so long. So while it feels like it could be a good thing that our emergency declaration has expired and that we have some more confidence and can maybe continue forward with some economic activities, we are possibly going to see some hindrance with that, especially with limitations to funds. We're just waiting to see where that falls. We're getting a lot of answers over just a vast amount of time. So we will absolutely keep everyone updated. If we do feel it's something that we need to update you with next week because it's really critical information, I will still come on and do that next week if something major comes out. Additionally, we do have the new program released by the Alaska Housing Finance Corporation for any just general person that is struggling being able to pay rent or utilities. Now that is a residential grant, but it's not applying to our businesses, but it is still something that's available. So if you are one of those people, please make sure that you go to the Alaska Housing Finance Corporation and get some of that relief. So next up, I want to talk a little bit about the PPP program. As you know, I've just drowned on and on and on about it and all the different grant opportunities, all the different loan opportunities. If you happen to still have questions about those, please, again, feel free to reach out to the chamber. You can reach us at chamber@kodiak.org or call us anytime, 907-486-5557. We are here Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. But are always happy to return phone calls and emails as soon as we get back. So PPP news. I was informed just yesterday that only 41% of the PPP allocation has been made. So if that's a program that you've been waiting on, trying to see, weigh the benefits versus the drawbacks, anything like that, gathering information, there are still plenty of funds available. Please don't hesitate to go ahead and get that grant. The PPP starts out as a loan, and as long as you use that funding the way that you're supposed to, it turns into a grant. And so whether it's a first draw for you or a second draw has a few more requirements than the first. Again, feel free to reach out to us. We're here to answer any questions that you might have. But again, plenty of funds, and those applications are going to close out by March 31st. So if you've been having any trouble, questions, anything like that, reach out to us. Are there any questions about anything that I've done so far? Okay, doesn't look like it. So here's what I'm going to do instead tonight. I actually want to show off some really cool educational opportunities through the Alaska Small Business Development Center. I'm hoping that everyone can see my screen. If you can't, go ahead and just give me a little signal. Send me something in the chat box, give me a nod on the TV, anything like that. All right, so things look good. So the Alaska Small Business Development Center has actually recognized this need that so many businesses have to prepare for education during this time of COVID. And so they have actually begun offering all of their classes at absolutely no charge through the end of March. So until March 31st, you can see and visit any of these classes. All you have to do is register, completely free of charge again. But it has everything from starting a business on demand, Americans with Disability Law, and what you should know. These are all on-demand programs, basic bookkeeping for entrepreneurs. That's been a huge one that people have really had a lot of questions about, especially with COVID. A lot of the grants, a lot of the programs, they require you to document payroll, salaries, expenses, where you've used certain funds. This basic bookkeeping is going to help you on that path if you don't already have something. Business insurance for small business, again, another huge thing that's cropped up during COVID. People want to know what their risk is and how to shop appropriately for insurance. Just a ton of information. Now, everything that you're seeing right now that I'm scrolling through is a pre-recorded session. However, we'll get down here a little bit of ways here. And we'll get out of the on-demand sessions into regular sessions where you can actually have the opportunity to meet, you know, face-to-face with your instructors and ask them the questions that you have. We're scrolling way down here. There's, like I say, there's so many options. So we've got these online live meetings, things like taxes for small business. That's a huge one happening right now, especially with all these COVID grants, things like that. People don't understand what to expect. If you received one of the local grants from the city or the borough, you might have some surprise taxes that are going to be due. And they'll talk to you about how to handle if you received PPP or EIDL funds, all sorts of information. You can go ahead and ignore any of the locations because everything right now that is live is being live streamed. You don't have to be in a course. So understanding what the SBA loans are and what the lender is requiring, how to write a business plan, starting a business, all these are going to be live opportunities for you to interact with the actual presenter. So the SBDC just has this amazing wealth of information that is all free and available to you. If you have questions about how to sell socially, so using social media to sell your actual products, the Chamber has a program that we're happy to share with anyone. It really goes into detail about how to plan your strategy, how to get comfortable being in front of the camera to sell your products, all those sort of things, really working on that strategy. So between the SBDC and Chamber offerings, there's really something for every business. So if there's anything you're looking for, you just let us know. If we don't have it, we'll find a way to create it and really work with the professionals that are experts in that area to make sure you get that course. And hopefully, especially at this free price while the SBDC is working on that promotion. So the Small Business Development Center does more than offer classes. They also offer advising to any business. This doesn't have to be a brand new business. This doesn't have to be an existing business, anything like that. Anyone is available for that advising through the SBDC. All you have to do, if you're not a client, you just create a new client file, or you sign into your existing client file and you get that one-on-one counseling with an SBDC rep. They won't be able to advise you on legal matters or taxes. However, they can advise you on just about anything else and certainly point you in the right direction for any of the advising legally or on taxes. If you have questions about that, you can always reach out to the Chamber too. But I wanted to share also this COVID-19 Resource Center on the Small Business Development Center page. It really has a wealth of information from emergency orders to the weekly SBDC briefings. They bring in someone from SBDC as well as an expert on all the loans and grants, and even a representative from 4Acre, which is the nonprofit organization that is sort of the SBDC counterpart for the nonprofit organization. So you can see all these updated weekly briefings. As recent as yesterday's briefing, you can sign up to register to see those in real time. There's information about federal funding and EIDL and PPP. There's specific programs to Alaska funding. If you are in the tourism business, please pay special attention to this grant program that's coming available. Also childcare, we've had a lot of questions about childcare grants. That's all going to be available here and in multiple languages. So make sure you're utilizing that SBDC website as much as possible, because really that's a partnership that we've worked to foster, and they really offer that guidance, that one-on-one specialty that sometimes we're not able to offer our members. So always, again, feel free to reach out to us with any questions. But with that, I'm going to open it up to what special needs does our business community have right now? We are an advocacy and a resource center. So bring them to me, whatever you've got. No questions. Well, I don't see anything right now, but again, I've said it so many times, you're sick of hearing it, I'm sure. If you do have a question that pops up or you're not comfortable reaching out on this platform right now because it's public, please feel free, reach out to us, chamber@kodiak.org, or give us a call, 907-486-5557. I'll hang out on the line here just a little bit longer, but with that, that's all I have for you this week. All right, seeing nothing else, I'm going to go ahead and end this session. Thanks